So I just got started on my new side project in NextJS, and here are some of my first impressions. So who am I? I'm Michael Oswald. I have about 10 years of software engineering experience, mostly in back-end engineering, but I like to dabble in the front end as well. All right, so first up, what is NextJS? It's probably the best way to explain what NextJS is to look at the homepage. It is a React framework for the web. So a lot of the biggest companies are using it. You can use it to build small applications all the way up to really big enterprise applications with React components. It's really just a framework built on top of React that helps you build applications a lot faster. So I'm still new with NextJS, but here's 5 things that I really like about NextJS. First, it's easy to learn. So this last week I went through this course, nextjs.org/learn, where they actually take you through building a full application, full stack application, and deploying it to Vercel for deployment. So here it is. You can visit it here. I've already started it, but there's 16 chapters, so it's actually pretty big. So it goes through all the CSS, font stuff, how to fetch data, how to stream the data onto your application. So it really builds you a nice application by the end that you can use as maybe your scaffolding or templating to create your own application quickly. So really highly recommend this course. I thought learning it was very simple. Just going through this course, obviously I don't know everything yet, but this gave me a big head start. So number 2 is it has built-in route management. So I remember using just vanilla React for some applications, and I'd always have to pull in the React router and figure out how to get that to work with React. Sometimes React router would bump versions, so then I would have to figure out the new ways to do things in React router. So the router management, and that is all built in natively into NextJS. And the next thing is there's also first-class support for OAuth. So same with the other React vanilla projects that I'd used to do. I'd have to use some other third-party library to integrate into different auth frameworks to be able to authenticate my users, username, password, or integrate with third parties. So NextJS has native support for this. Let me show you all the providers that they actually support, which is really big. Yeah, so if you look in their documentation here, the providers they have for their auth, you can see this huge list here. I'll zoom in of providers that you can put in for third parties. So obviously Google's big one there, GitHub, I'm sure Facebook's in here somewhere, yep, Facebook, and then Amazon Cognito. So all of these you can use to authenticate your users into NextJS. And this one's huge because it's always a pain to do any kind of authentication, but every real application needs this, right, for security purposes. All right, and then number 4, this was a huge, like, mind-blowing one, was that there's no more backend. Meaning there's no more API endpoints that you have to define that then connect to your database. No more defining like your REST endpoints so that your UI can serve data. It's all kind of bundled in this NextJS application, which is all written in TypeScript or JavaScript. So you can define server components. I think they're called React server components inside NextJS, and you can define queries to an actual database. So no more APIs. You can basically it feels like you're querying from your front end directly to your database, which is kind of a crazy concept, but the way they deploy it, the server components aren't exposed to the client. Just client components are exposed on like the browser. Because before that was difficult, you wouldn't be able to actually query your database because you didn't want to expose your database credentials. But now with how they deploy it and how they've separated the server and client components, you don't have to define API endpoints anymore. So this is a huge time saver for people. They don't have to interact with the backend team or write their own backend. They can just query a data store directly for anything that they need. So it's kind of like GraphQL a little bit, but you don't have to define a GraphQL server. You're directly doing SQL or your NoSQL queries to the data store. And the last thing here I really like is the seamless integration into Vercel. So Vercel gives you storage, gives you integration to GitHub. So when you push your commit, it then goes to Vercel. They build the code and deploy it out to different environments. So all this stuff that every application needs, they handle for you. So you can define Postgres database. I think there's a key value one with Redis, and then there's like a blob storage, and then like I think an Edge data store that they can provide that all has really seamless integration to Next.js. So you feel like you're kind of in this Vercel Next.js world a little bit, where you're able to be very productive and deploy things very quickly. Anyways, that's just what I've been learning this last week. I thought it was really exciting, so I thought I'd put a video on it, and go ahead and check out Next.js and see how you like it, and let me know in the comments. Thanks, everyone.